that sweet symphony, bringing us into another Sunday morning blitz. Oh, my goodness sakes. I'm so pumped up. I can't even hardly contain myself. I'm very excited to start off Sunday morning, and we're starting off with a full blitz crew. We got the whole entire team backing right here. On my right, I think if you're looking, I guess on my left, if you're looking at the screen, but it looks like it's on my right. I got my man, Alex. Alex, what's going on? Me and you're the only two that are cool enough to make the intro heading.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I'm super excited, man. NFL Week 1. I have been waiting way too long for this. It's here. Let's see what we were right about and what we were probably wrong about. I'm ready for that.
The more likely of the two, right? Yeah, if you're anything like me, it's like, man, I felt good about this guy, and then pretty soon he's actually working at a Verizon kiosk 2 weeks later, like Marlon Mack.
Well, look at Cam Akers. Like, how many people are like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, by the way, if you listen to anything I ever say to people, go get Cam Akers quickly, please. On his left, we got our man Jason. Jason, what's going on? Welcome back. We got the Blitz crew full stroke. What's going on, man?
I've got to say, I love this intro. Nothing gets me more pumped like the old Blitz intro, which we can't do on YouTube.
Right. Oh, I know. Oh, goodness sakes. I've been hearing that shit in my head all weekend.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Like, I'm glad to be on the real Blitz and ready to go with Toilets for Titles this season.
There you go. And right below me, we got my man George Reed. George, what's happening, man? How we doing? Welcome back as well. The full crew coming full at you. A historic moment.
Yes, the Showtime is back. Yes, let's do this. The Blitz is back. We got the full crew. Jason shaking his head. He didn't even want to let everybody on the Blitz know that he's still homeless. That is a green screen behind him. Do not be fooled. He is still homeless, Jason. He's always going to be homeless in our hearts. But it is fantastic to be here. Excited to start the season. Let's get it done.
There you go. And then last but most certainly not least, but the man I'm most jealous of is the man over there on the bottom left. We got our man Joe. Joe, what's happening? Drop the leash _JC. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, loving it. My Blitz debut, so happy to be here in complete Bush League style. I'm going to drop out in about 15 minutes and head to New York City to go see my boys Pearl Jam at the most famous arena in the world tonight. But happy to be here for 15, 20 minutes. And I'll be honest, selfishly, I'm already looking at, and I've already got like 3 lineup questions teed up for you guys in my own lineups, which I feel like it's a bad start if you have week 1 real question marks in your lineups. That means you're very confused by your own draft. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that happens to the best of us, especially when you start getting sidebarred with injury news and things like that, things you weren't expecting. You see these guys on the injury report. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm looking at the questionable and stuff preseason, I'm like, I don't care. But then once we get about 2 or 3 days before, oh, that Q starts getting to me, man. I'm like, oh man, that Q. Why? Let's go away. Let's just go ahead and make sure this guy's going to play. And then when we get game day, boy, I start sweating it a lot. So.
And we got some of those today. We got a few, I think, game time decisions between Dobbins and a couple others. So, yeah, week 1, we still already have those things to consider.
So Dobbins, just breaking news, and if anybody breaking news from Sleeper, Dobbins will be inactive today against the Jets.
So Mike Davis is starting, I would imagine then.
Yeah, Mike Davis starter.
Thank you, Jason. That's a big one.
Yes, sir.
Go get him in DFS before everybody else does, because everybody's going to probably go make that same move right now, just to let you know.
I already had him in my lineup. So,
Mike Davis?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Because I didn't think J.K. Dobbins was going to play. So I already had the discount in my flex spot.
Smart.
As he says J.K. Dobbins, I just definitely realized that I called him by the wrong first name last night on Dash of DFS for sure. I don't know what first name I gave him, but it certainly wasn't J.K.
Oh, well, whatever it was, I guess who cares, right? Like, I'm sure everybody knew who at least you were talking about.
So, Mike, It's the question we started every blitz out with the last couple years. Can I ask it?
Absolutely. Fire away.
All right. What games other than your favorite team? That way George can't say the Dolphins. What game are you guys looking forward to the most this week?
I'll go. Lions, Eagles.
Before we answer this question and get into the show, can we just do like a quick moment of silence for those on September 11th that
Absolutely.
that did during that horrific attack on the country? You know, guys know me. I am a veteran. I did serve overseas. So yeah, let's just give a quick moment of silence for those people. Let's do it. Thank you. Alex, go ahead.
We should have just done the rest of the show like that.
just staring at the screen in complete
Save
silence.
people some fantasy agony later, I guess, right?
But yeah, so I'm excited for the Eagles-Lions game because I've had some expectations for the Lions over the offseason. I think they're going to be a better offense than they were last year. I think they're going to be way more competitive. They've had a couple years rebuilding very early on in the draft. So I know Jared Goff's still their quarterback, but Jared Goff, he did stuff with the Rams. You know, he was good when he was with the Rams for a couple years there. So I'm pretty excited for that one. And I want to see what the Eagles look like with A.J. Brown in the lineup. I want to see what their run pass ratio, if they're truly going to run the or pass the ball more. I think we'll get a pretty good indication today. I think that's going to be a good game, especially because it's in Detroit. Detroit plays hard at home. The Packers always have a problem with the Lions at home.
So one of the games I'm really looking forward to outside of the Dolphins-Patriots is actually going to be a revenge game. The Panthers versus the Browns. Baker Mayfield completely disrespected this offseason by the Browns. They ended up trading him to the Panthers, and he gets them week 1 in Carolina. That is just going to be a fantastic game that I am actually looking forward to because I think both teams are good. I'm higher on the Panthers probably than most people. I think the Browns, their defense is legitimate. Their offense is pretty freaking good as well. I understand the whole Jacoby Brissett. He's not a great quarterback, but he is an average NFL quarterback. So I think it should be a good game. I expect the Panthers to completely dominate this game, but that's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
So I have 2 games that I'm really pumped up about that I want to see play out. And I guess it's not really even 2 games. It's 2 teams that I want to see. We got the Packers on one side. I can't wait to see what's going on there. Like, let's kind of see what kind of offense we're dealing with because we'll know a lot more at the end of this game, right? Like whether or not that passing attack is just decimated and they're going to have to run the ball 100% of the time or what's going on there. And then another one is Kansas City. I'm very curious to see what happened with Kansas City and their lineups as far as losing Tyreek Hill. And I mean, so now you've got a whole bunch of people like Juju Smith-Schuster, Sky Moore. I mean, you got guys out there that you're going to be, I don't know. I'm highly speculative that they can replace somebody that had the wheels and the skills that Tyreek Hill had. But that's one I'm very excited about.
I was going to go. So you took the Vikings Packers game, but I want to see the Vikings, not the Packers. I want to see that new offensive coordinator who's supposed to air it out more. I want to see if Justin Jefferson lives up to the hype over Kupp, like a lot of analysts had predicted this offseason. I mean, we saw what Kupp did the first game. I want to see if Justin Jefferson is going to live up to that, like he says on the offseason that he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. I want to see that. And then I do want to see the Dolphins. Now, we talked about it last Sunday on the roundtable at night. I don't know that this is the perfect game to see how the Dolphins are going to be going forward through the season because it's Bill Belichick against a second-year quarterback. I know, George is shaking his head, whatever. It's Bill Belichick against a second-year quarterback a guy who's already knows how to scheme Tyreek out of games because he did it in Kansas when Tyreek was in Kansas City. So I'm not sure that this is the best benchmark to see how that how that Miami Dolphins team's going to be going forward. But I am looking forward to seeing how that new Miami offense is going forward.
That secondary in New England is putrid. First off, they do not have J.C. Jackson anymore, which definitely helps when you have one of the top 5 cornerbacks in the NFL on your team. He's no longer there. You got Tua Tagovailoa. It's his 3rd season. The Dolphins have started the last 3 years opening game against the New England Patriots. It's the 3rd year in a row. And we're going to beat them for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah, but beating them is, and that's awesome for the Dolphins. 17 points. So, like, if you're looking for Tyreek Hill, if you're looking for Waddle, if you're looking for Tua, 17 points ain't going to get that shit done. Excuse my language.
24 points today, guarantee it.
Well, I think the 2 most important games for the NFL today, I think, are the Patriots-Dolphins games, and then that Tampa Bay-Dallas game, because these are, Tampa Bay, Dallas, with the way the Rams looked. If Tampa and Dallas, if neither of those teams look good, the NFC is going to feel like the Western Conference of the NBA for like 30 years, which was like just always so or how the AFC used to be in the 80s and the 90s with the NFC. Like, we're going to be real lopsided if we're not feeling good about either the Bucks or the Cowboys coming out of that game. And I do feel like with the Patriots and the Dolphins, you've got just so many people zigging and zagging with both of those teams and how they feel they're going to be this year. So I feel like it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. Fantasy-wise, I think it's the Charger-Raider game. I think is kind of like, for me, it's the fantasy game of the week where, I think that could have the most fantasy fireworks.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and start getting into some of these questions. We're getting popped off on here. A very familiar name for me that I haven't seen in some time. We got our man Oswaldo Andrade. He says, "What's up, George?" He's stuck in a pickle, which is a horrible place to be because pickles are disgusting. He says he needs a wide receiver 3. He needs Alec Pierce or Christian Watson. Who we going with, George? We'll start with you since Oswaldo, which is great to see again. My man called you out by name.
I'm actually going to go with Alex Pierce. I don't like either of these options, to be perfectly honest. Christian Watson, rookie, has not really looked very good. Hasn't had much of a connection this offseason with Aaron Rodgers. I do like the fact that Alan Lazard is not playing. That just, moves Christian Watson up from the number 4 wide receiver, really probably the number 5 wide receiver, if I want to be honest, to the number 4 spot. I just don't expect a big game out of Christian Watson at all. I'm honestly throwing a dart throw here with Alec Pierce. And it's not that I'm endorsing Alec Pierce or like Alex Pierce. It's more I'm just not a big fan of Christian Watson. I haven't seen much from him during the offseason. I haven't seen much of him have any type of connection at all with Aaron Rodgers this offseason. So if I'm choosing between these 2, I'm going with Alec Pierce. And Oswald, great to see you, my friend.
Awesome. Joe, what do you got to add to that?
Yeah, I think everything that George said for week 1 is spot on. I think, Watson goes up the board, but it's not there yet to really put him in. So I'm with George.
Awesome. Alex, you got anything to say? You look like you're shaking your head there.
Yeah, I just want to, George was saying that Rodgers and Watson haven't had a connection. It's because Watson hasn't been practicing at all. He missed all of camp. He missed all of OTAs because he had surgery of some sort, I think on his knee. I should know this, but I think he had knee surgery. So he's literally, this week was his first week of practice with the team at all. So he's been there, but he hasn't been running routes. He hasn't been catching passes. He hasn't been doing anything.
Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee last week, or this week, I should say, and he was talking up Romeo way more than he was Watson, just based on the fact that they were having more time together.
So I'm gonna be contrarian, and I'm gonna actually say Watson because of the matchup. And look, again, to mirror George, I don't like either of these 2 options. If these are your 2 options, personally, I would take Watson because of game script. I see the Colts getting out now. First, Pierce is number 3 on that team. Right, he's the 3rd wide receiver at best. So it's I think the Colts are going to get out to such a lead so quick that it's going to be a Jonathan Taylor game, and they're not going to have to throw the ball all that much. So they're going to get up against the Texans. Whereas I believe that the Vikings-Packers are going to be a shootout, and you're going to have to throw the ball, giving more opportunity to Watson. Again, I don't like either one of them, but I think Watson will be on the field more. The Packers are going to have to throw the ball more, and that's why I would lean towards the Packers or towards Watson.
I agree with that too, honestly, just because of the higher potential chance of being in a position where you have to throw the ball a lot and being a guy that's a recipient. Like all the Dubs has to do is miss one catch and it's the next man up. I mean, he filters through receivers fast. Like he doesn't put up with that crap for very long.
Hey, Mikey, I got to get out of here. Can I give you guys a lineup one? I'd love to hear your opinion on it before I jet.
Absolutely. Fire away, my man.
So my flex in one of my leagues, Miles Sanders or Rashad Penny.
Ooh, can I go?
Go, Alex.
Rashad Penny. Like without a doubt. Rashad Penny. If he's healthy, Kenneth Walker probably isn't going to play, or even if he does, I don't think he's going to get much work because he just had groin surgery or hernia surgery like 3 weeks ago.
He's not.
He's out. Yeah. So yeah, no. Fire up all your Rashad Penny if you can get him in lineups. I think it's going to be. You're going to get plenty of work from him, and when he gets 15, I think it's at least 15 touches. He is a RB1. So even if it's Denver, I don't care about the Denver part.
All right, I like it. Alex, what were you gonna devil's advocate that?
Alex, that was
all right. Not Jason. I don't know why I said Alex.
Well,
I saw him shaking his head. I was looking at you.
It's tough because it's Miles Sanders, right? Like I guess if I had to pick, I don't like Rashard Penny against the Broncos defense. I especially don't like it because I think Russ is going to curb stomp them and they're going to be behind. And I don't think that they're going to throw the ball to Rashard Penny all that much. So I don't, but the problem is on the other side, you've got Miles Sanders with Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott. So of the two, I'm going Rashard Penny, but I'm not super excited like Alex is. Just to be in our money league and George's my money league, I'm actually starting Daniel Jones over Rashard Penny, and that may be a mistake, but I can't play Rashard Penny in a game where against a quarterback in a game where Rashard Penny's team is going to be down by a lot because I think Russell Wilson's going to throw it all over the field, and then Rashard Penny's not going to be made obsolete.
That's in Seattle, though, right? That game.
Yeah, that's why I think that game's a lot closer than it looks because it's going to be in Seattle. They're going to try to keep it close. I don't think Russ is going to be able to cook that much.
I appreciate it, guys. Hey, you guys are awesome. I can't wait to listen to the rest of it, and I will be back next week. Thank you, guys. Week one, let's do this.
Pearl Jam, man. Enjoy your time. All right, that'll get us to our next man, Andrew Miller, another familiar name out there. He says he's in a PPRT premium flex spot. Hooper, Hurst, Hunt, Gordon, Devontae Parker, or Fant. Man, this sounds like a week 11 question, not a week 1 question, but I understand the dilemma here. I'll go ahead and kick this one off. I'm going to say, for me, it's probably going to be Hunt in a situational position. Like he's going to be in a situation where he's going to be playing from behind, likely with the quarterback situation going on. What do you think, Jason? You were nodding. You agree with me there?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking over this. I do like Hayden Hurst today, although I'm not sure how much is going to be left after Higgins and Chase get theirs. I do like Hurst, but Hunt of this group is probably my number one. Just like you said, they're going to be playing from behind. It's going to be more of a Hunt game than it's going to be a Chubb game.
George, what do you think?
It's Hunt for me. This actually came down to Hunt and Gordon, and I do like Gordon today. I think we're going to see almost the exact kind of splits we were seeing between Gordon and Javonte Williams last year. Like I think Gordon is going to be a fine flex option, but I like Hunt more going up against the Panthers. He's going to be the receiving back there. I am expecting the Panthers to get ahead, so I do expect them to have to pass the ball. Jacoby Brissett is a decent enough quarterback where he will check down a bit to his tight ends and to his running back. And we all know Kareem Hunt is not the receiving running back there, or not Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. So I'm going to go with Hunt here as well. Also, real quick, I'm going to jump out the stream for just a second. I will be right back. I've got to do one thing real quick.
He's got to poop. Alex, what is it? What is it that that you've got going on here, bud?
I'm actually gonna take Melvin Gordon. I like what you're. I like Hunt. It's really close for me, but I'll take Gordon here. If it's gonna be a closer game, and they're gonna be trying to control it. Maybe I'm talking myself out of it now. It's gonna be Hunt for me too.
Awesome. Yeah, was I the only one that perked up a little bit right there with Austin Hooper as a TE premium?
Yeah, no, that doesn't excite me.
I like Tannehill and his tight end, man, and I feel like Hooper might be a pretty solid, reliable fix right there, but I don't like him as much as I like Kareem Hunt playing from behind. We got our man Howard Kim. He says Keenan Allen versus Deontay Johnson. Alex, go ahead and kick this one off. Who do you think right here?
Yeah, that's Keenan Allen for me. That AFC West division showdown, and Deontay Johnson had he's dealing with an AC joint injury, and those are not fun. All he's got to do is land wrong one time, and I don't know if he could come out of the game. So he kind of scares me this week. So I think Keenan Allen is above him anyway for this week. But so watch out with your Deontay Johnson shares this week.
I like that. Jason, what do you think?
No, I'm in on Keenan Allen as well. I do want to know who he's sitting, because like Keenan Allen is probably a 3rd-round draft pick, and Deontay Johnson was like a 4th or 5th. So you're sitting one of your top 5 draft picks. Now I'm not against sitting Deontay, because like Alex said, Deontay had the shoulder as late as like midweek this week. He was talking about like not being able to use it 100%. So later on in the week he's like, okay, I'm back to being good, but man, as of this week, he was talking about not being able to use that shoulder perfectly. And it's not like he's a running back where they hand him the ball. He's a receiver. He has to be able to use that arm to go get catches. So,
right.
Of the two, I'm sticking with Keenan.
Excellent. Yep. Nope. And it's Keenan Allen for me. And it is close because I do like Deontay Johnson, but I'm with you guys. And, I'm going to have quarterback questions until I see a situation happen in there that I'm actually comfortable with. And it's not happening this week. I tell you that right now. I got to see it. Our man Oswaldo checking in, saying it's great to see us again. It's great to hear from you, buddy. We looks like Hunter Renfrow is inactive. We got a COVID. And then this next one, guys, this is really close to my heart right here because I've been worried about this guy for about 8 months now. I thought I got in touch with him once and it wasn't. And it was just, but he's in Krakow now, Poland. So it's all good. He was, this is my Ukrainian friend. So it looks like he got out of danger there and he's in a safe place. He says, we got some new gang members. I see. Yeah, we got Justin, Vegas, Rich. Those guys tapped out. They're going to hang out with their families. They're also doing a ton of content though. You can still catch Rich and Justin during the week. Just go to toiletsandtitles.com, man, and you'll be able to catch those guys. But it's really, honest to God, Poland has Dr. Pepper, so I can turn this thing around and I don't have to cover it with borscht anymore. That makes me pretty damn happy. We got Flex Standard. He's got Bateman, Stevenson, or Kirk. Which one are you guys going up with?
Oh,
we'll kick off with you there.
With who? With me?
With you, Jason. Yeah.
Oh, this one hurts because I am a Bateman guy. Like Bateman is a guy I'd plant my flag on for the season. But in standard, I tend to tie goes to the runner, and I'm going to do that here and say Stevenson.
Oh, Stevenson. That's tough. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, it's actually between Bateman and Kirk for me. I like Stevenson, but I kind of want to see what the Patriots look like in that run game because it didn't sound too good in the offseason. So I kind of want to see what it's going to be like until, once they start playing. But I think I'm going to go Bateman as well. It's a lot closer between Kirk and Bateman for me, but I kind of like that they're playing the Jets, first week out there. And I think he's going to get a lot of work. He's got to, we drafted him as the Ravens wide receiver 1. So, but it's definitely close. That's a tough one for me, but Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman for me as well. I think just like you said, we drafted him to be the Ravens wide receiver 1. Now it's time to prove it. So I got to put him in that slot. And we'll adapt next week. But for this week, I'm feeling pretty confident in that. George, you got anything to add there?
No, I'm also going Bateman here. I'm not trusting Stevenson. I don't think he's going to be the starter. I think he'll be their receiving back. Kirk, new team. I want to see kind of the way that they're going to use him down there. And I said down there, but really for me, it's up there in Jacksonville. I'm not sure the rapport he's going to have with Trevor Lawrence. Last time we seen Trevor Lawrence, he didn't look very good last year. I will fully say that is a product more of Urban Meyer and a lack of coaching that he was bringing to that organization than what he's getting now with Doug Peterson. So I do expect a lot from Trevor Lawrence, but I think Bateman is definitely going to be the safe bet here.
Excellent. So that's 3 for Bateman. What?
And it's good to hear from you, my friend. I was worried about you as well.
Absolutely. Welcome. Like, I'm so happy to hear from you. I was waiting for that moment where I got to hear that you're nice and safe and okay. So it's definitely good to hear from you, buddy.
And next challenge is to see if there's big gulps there.
Make sure you do that, Trans-Siberian, big gulps. If not, we'll get you some.
Awesome.
We got Andrew Miller saying thoughts on starting Michael Thomas in the flex spot, PPR tight end premium league as well. George, go ahead and you kick this one off.
100% full stop. Let's go. Start him. Absolutely.
There you go. Love it.
I thought you were going the other way with that because you said
Nope.
full stop. I was like,
I thought
hold
so
on.
too. Yep.
I'm all in.
I'm not expecting 2019 Michael Thomas, right? Like, I'm not expecting the number 1 wide receiver in the league. But you know what? You didn't spend number 1 wide receiver price to get him. You probably got him in the 6th or 7th round. It's Jameis Winston, and it's going to be a revenge game with Tampa, a revenge game, quote unquote, because like it's not the first time that they've played each other. I know, Jason, you're going to get to talk. Give me a second. Tampa's pass defense is not very good historically. They have not been. I expect
They're playing Atlanta.
You're playing Atlanta, George. Michael Thomas is playing Atlanta.
Oh, is he?
I also wanted to point out this
team
is. Hold on. This is gonna craft your answer to your question. Hold on. This is Andrew Miller who asked us before: Hooper, Hunt, Hurst, Gordon, Devontae Parker, or Fant. My guess is he's throwing Michael Thomas into that mix. So before we go on this rant of like Michael Thomas is great, let's talk about like over Hunt over Melvin Gordon, which was the question before, and then my answer to that would be yes. Sorry,
I'm going to assume it's a different league.
He's just
one league.
Well, no, he's literally saying in the flex, which is the question he asked before, and then
he could have 2 leagues with 2 different flexes, Jason.
But he didn't ask another question. He's just asking about Michael Thomas. You think if it was another league, he'd throw more people?
Andrew, is this a different league? Please settle the debate. Is this a different league? Because I think
either way, Michael Thomas over all of those other ones.
All of them, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Just an FYI, if we can get enough Patreons, we'll make these 2 fight in the backyard somewhere. They're pretty close to each other.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
Jason will give you a weapon. We'll give you some sort of a weapon.
All right, then I'm in.
Jason and I were both right. It's the same league, which makes him right, but it's a different flex spot, which is again, start it.
Semantics.
So you can start Kareem Hunt and Michael Thomas.
Oh, it's so good to be back. We got Osvaldo Andrade says, are any of you all high on Breece Hall?
Not this week.
Not for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
I was going to say I'm high on him, but not for a minute. I want to see how he adapts to this offense first. I got to see what that's another offense I want to see. And without Zach Wilson, it kind of bums me out.
Yeah, I'm very high on Breece Hall season long, but I'm going to give it a week or 2 if I can.
We got another guy here. He says he already asked and got some advice from Coach Sheps, which is probably your first mistake.
Yes,
I'm just kidding. I love you, Coach. I love you, Coach. Just goofing. He'd like to hear what we think. He said, who should he play in his flex? Chase Edmonds, Drake London, or Romeo Doubs? Go ahead and start this one off, Alex. Let's see what you got to say on this one.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a tough one, but Chase Edmonds has been dealing with a groin injury all week that he got in the preseason game. Yeah, he got a groin injury. I'm pretty sure. Check me on that, George.
No, he does, but
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Groins, I don't like groins, but I think he's still well enough. I
have that on a t-shirt. I don't like groins.
Andrew Campy, I need you to clip that for me, please. Thank you.
But I think he's still high enough above the other two players, Drake London and Romeo Dubs. So I'd still probably roll with Chase Edmonds.
I'm going to surprise you. I'm actually going to go with Drake London. Give me the rookie. Give me. Listen, I just got done saying that in a roundabout way. I just got done saying that the Saints are going to crush the Falcons, right? So that means they're going to be behind. They're going to have to throw the ball. Outside of Pitts, there's really nothing else on the Falcons for Marcus Mariota really to throw through. Give me Drake London. I'm high on Drake London this year, to be honest. I think he'll finish as the rookie of the year.
I like that. I'm actually going to go with Chase Edmonds as well. Now that I see he's got the all clear, good to go, I like his situation better than these are guys that, I like rookies, but I draft rookies and redraft for one reason and one reason only, and that's because I have depth and because I'm able to get guys that I can definitely start with a lot more confidence than guys that I just haven't seen on an NFL speed yet. So, and I understand there's preseason and stuff like that, but preseason to me is more of a bad thing. You see the wrong thing there, and it gets you thinking of the wrong way. And so for me, I'm going to go with Chase Edmonds because he's the veteran out of this group. Jason, who you going with here, bud?
What do we do in a 2-2 tie?
Because we shoot guns, like actual finger guns.
So what's tough is it was very close for me, but I was going to say Drake London, but that makes Jeff end up having to pick his own guy. So I will go with, because it's so close, I'll just go ahead and say Chase to make it 3-1.
There you go. Well, that's the smart thing to do anyways. You're either agreeing with George or you're agreeing with us. Just put it that way, and it makes you feel a lot better about it. We got our man Dustin, Patreon. What's going on, man? How's it going? We love to see you. He says, Christian Kirk or Treylon Burks today? I'll go ahead and let you start this one off, Jason. What do you think?
I was going to have a drink, but I'll say Christian Kirk.
That's why I started off with you. I saw that, and I'm like, nope, this is the desert, buddy. Welcome to it.
No, it's Christian Kirk for me. I do like Treylon Burks. I think he's going to be an integral part of that offense. I do want to see it after an offseason that seemed a bit tumultuous, where he played deep in a bunch of games, had a bunch of routes run without a bunch of targets against scrubs. I want to see Treylon Burks put it on the field before I put him in my lineup. Christian Kirk, they paid him a lot of money to be down there. Yes, some of that was a Jacksonville tax, but I've heard rumors of brunches with Kirk and Trevor Lawrence. I've heard just some rumblings that those guys have a decent connection. So I'm going to say Christian Kirk over Treylon Burks week 1.
Jason, I got a question. Have you heard of shower rumors between Christian Kirk and Trevor Lawrence? Because the thing going around last year was, if these guys shared the shower together, like in college or whatever, they had that bond. And it worked out really well with Tua and Waddle. Worked out really well with Chase.
Stand by audio for a dropout of George.
Everybody assumes it's going to work really well with Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. So can you confirm any shower bonding between Kirk and Trevor Lawrence? I need to know this.
I mean, I may or may not have been there.
Okay. I was going to say, does Jason have a pulse on the shower scene in Jacksonville?
Right.
I've got a camera.
Various showers, okay?
I've got cameras hidden around.
Shower for Jason.
Thank God I didn't shower at the house in Canton.
Is that why you stunk?
No, I didn't shower at your house.
You're assuming I didn't sneak one into Shep's house.
That's true.
You didn't notice the first thing Jason did is he went to the bathroom when he got to that?
God.
What do you think he was doing?
Got to get the cameras and get the cameras lined up. My good God. JM, it does feel good to be back, but I don't know about that now. I don't know if that's still relevant here 10 seconds
all
later.
the shower talk has made us feel dirty.
Exactly. This show will be from the tub from here on out. We got our man PD. He says Damian Pierce or Cordarrelle Patterson for his running back too. George, kick this one off. Who we got?
I'm gonna go with Damian Pierce. I'm buying in the hype. The only other running back really of note that's on that team right now is Rex Burkhead. And I think he's going to be the receiving back. So I think Rex Burkhead does provide value. But I'm not buying enough value on Burkhead to the point where I think he's going to be able to usurp and be more valuable running back than Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce is going to get a full workload. I'm buying in on the rookie hype here with Pierce. Give me Pierce over Cordell Patterson.
So I agree with a lot of what George says. I think that Pierce is a good running back. I think he's on a bad team that's about to get blown out, and Burkhead's the pass catching running back in the Texans. So this week, I don't think I'd play Pierce. I'd play Patterson. Maybe not going forward, and it's going to be very game dependent when Pierce plays against Jacksonville twice this year, right in the lineup. But as the running back, as the non-pass catching running back on a bad team, give me Patterson.
But if that's the criteria to have to start Pierce, like there's only 2 games a season, you're going to feel comfortable starting Pierce because he's a good running back on a bad team, and every team they play is going to be better than the Houston Texans.
Yeah, but not every team's going to be the Colts. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's true. But
I expect the Colts to be very good this season. So and to walk away with that division. Now we'll see what happens, but that defense is very good.
Alex, it's on you. Split the difference here. Who do you think?
I'm going Cordell Patterson. They're gonna. I like Dameon Pierce for a lot of the reasons that were said, but I think this week I'm gonna roll with the guy who came out of nowhere, and they're gonna be playing from behind. They're playing the Saints. Well, they're most likely gonna be trying to play catch up, and I think Patterson's gonna be. It's week 1, so he'll be nice and healthy, hopefully, because he kind of seemed like he wore down at the end of the season last year, and he wasn't being as productive. But I think he'll be ready to go week 1 here with the Falcons offense, a little revamped. So it's Patterson.
Excellent. I like it. Patterson for the win there. Was anybody like George Pickens over Christian Kirk in the situation with Treylon Burks, Burks, or Pickens?
No, I'll give all those rookie wide receivers a little time to, marinate and see what happens.
Gotcha. And Rich is out there dropping his bombs too, and he's agreeing with us in the most part of those. We got it looks like we got Red, Steel City, PAA. Who should we start in our flex? Godwin injured, Sanders, or Robert Woods PPR league? I'll go ahead and kick this one off. For me, it's going to be Robert Woods. The reason being is I like his situation. I think Tannehill's going to probably feed him the ball. I think we do see a smattering of Treylon Burks, but I feel like when you got a guy like Robert Woods sitting back there catching the football for you, he's going to be a little bit more of an attractive target for you to throw the ball to, and he'll probably be able to do more with it. What do you think, George? Who are you thinking on this one?
No, I gave the thumbs up to Bobby Trees. Like I get he's
Bobby Trees.
I get that he first season in Tennessee with Tannehill, but Tannehill is an efficient quarterback. This is going to be a run-heavy game, right? Like they're going to lean on Derrick Henry. That's not going to surprise anybody. So they're going to try to stack the box and make Tannehill beat them, which is going to leave more one-on-one coverage for a crafty veteran like Robert Woods. If this was Treylon Burks, not Robert Woods, I might go a different direction. But give me Bobby Trees here.
Excellent. Jason, what about you? You got anything to add there?
Yeah, it's Woods for me. Obviously Godwin if he wasn't injured, but he is, so he's not.
Excellent. Hey, we'll move on to the next one. We got Ads Enzo. He says Tua or Lance. Well, we all know what George's answer is right here. Jason, what do you think? Tua or Lance today?
I think I'm going Lance over Tua. I do have Tua rated pretty high. Again, I think he's going to get schemed out pretty hard from Bill Belichick. So, like I said, 17 points ain't going to get it done. They're probably going to win the game, but I'm going to say Trey Lance and his rushing ability over Tua this week.
Excellent. Alex, what do you got to add to that?
Yeah, I love them both, but I think I'm more excited to see Lance, and I think he's got the higher upside this week. So I'm going with Lance.
And I'm actually going to go ahead and go with a three-peat there with Lance. We all know that's 3-1 against George. We won't even let him talk about Tua because then he starts crying and drooling, and we have to peel him off the screen. So we'll go ahead and go with this next one. We got our man Chris Lazar, and he says, Juju, Marquise Brown, Josh Jacobs, start 2, sit 1, PPR. Who are we sitting in this mix? And I'll go ahead and start with you here. Alex, what do you think?
Ooh, that one's tough. I love Marquise Brown. I think he's the automatic start for me this week up against the Chiefs. But I personally, I think it's tough between Juju and Josh Jacobs because it's the Chargers and Raiders. Probably going to be, lots of points scored. And I think Jacobs is still going to be the goal line guy. So I think there's touchdown upside there. But I think if you're looking for, I think I'm going to go Josh Jacobs here until I see that how involved Juju is in the Chiefs offense. I think he's going to have to be, but I kind of want to see it first. And I just feel safer with Josh Jacobs in there for me. So it's going to be Marquise Brown and Josh Jacobs for me.
So you're sitting Juju. Okay. What about you, Jason?
I'm looking up because I know I've got them close. I'm looking up Juju and Jacobs in my rankings real quick. I've got Juju a little bit ahead, probably about 6 spots ahead, and so I'll stick with that. I do think Juju and Mahomes have a good chemistry, and I want to see Marquise. It's Marquise Brown for sure. That's my solid start because Arizona doesn't have much else to throw to. So I think he's going to get hyper targeted. He's the deep threat there. The Cardinals are not, the Cardinals are playing
Chiefs.
The Chiefs were not good at defending against deep passes last year is what I meant to say. But so I'm going to say Marquise Brown is my number 1 and Juju's my number 2. I think it's going to be a lot of peppered short targets. He's going to be the dump off guy for Pat Mahomes.
I'm sitting Josh Jacobs. This one was actually
Josh Jacobs for you, George. Okay, so for me, it's also I'm actually also sitting Juju Smith here. I got to see it before I actually believe it. And I like Josh Jacobs week 1. I think you'll see Zamir White eat into him later on as the season progresses. And I think Marquise Brown will be. I'm with you guys. There's just not a whole lot of targets in there. We got a question here. Renfro was out. I think we might have said Renfro was out. I thought I read that earlier, but. Everything I'm looking at looks like it's all systems go for Hunter Renfro. I don't see anything that had him on any kind of an injury report. I know that he was on he wasn't in the final preseason games, but I think that stands true for all Raiders. So I'll have to double check a few things there. But everything I'm seeing, it looks like it's all systems go for Hunter Renfro. We got Olave or Juju at the flex PPR. Go ahead with this one, George. Who do you think?
This is Juju. Like I was starting Juju in the last one. I'm starting Juju over Olave in this one as well. He's going to be the number 1 wide receiver in a Patrick Mahomes offense. Juju did not look great last year, but let's face it, like he had a dead arm of Ben Roethlisberger throwing him the ball. So I'm still on the Juju train. Give me Juju over Olave.
What about you, Jason?
Yeah, it's same with me. If I was going with Juju over Josh Jacobs, I'm for sure going to start him over a rookie in Olave. I do like Olave. I think he'll be good going throughout the season. The Saints high draft capital traded a lot to get up to him. So I think as the season progresses, he's going to be good, but it's going to be Juju for me to start the season.
Alex, you got anything to add to that? Who do you got? Thumbs up, go, all systems go. I'm right there with you. Good call. We all have Juju going in over the rookie. Although I'm sure once we see what this rookie has going on, I think we might be changing our tunes. Howard Kim says, thanks, fellas. Always great analysis. We appreciate you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys, I promise. So we got Justin Fields or Goff, half PPR. Man, I'd say I would start Goff in a full PPR. I'd probably start Fields. Just kidding. There's the same thing for quarterback. For me, it's Goff.
It's Goff. So I muted the mic because I was watching a weather report that's currently live right now in Chicago. They literally have like 1/2 inch to 1 inch pools of water on the field. They're expecting like just tropical storm rain and winds for this entire game. I want nothing to do with a lot of these Chicago players and a lot of the 49ers players outside of the running backs.
So does that change Tua, or the question from before, Tua or Lance? Does that change it for anybody?
I'm Tua on that.
No, I know you are.
I'm actually going to go Tua right there. So
I think if it's that bad, I think it changes it for me. I'd just rather have the better weather.
So if you want, and this might be a copyright thing, I don't know, but I'll play the weather report that I was listening to.
And we knew there would be rain in Chicago. We didn't anticipate it coming down this hard. Take a look at how it is pooling right now on this brand new Bermuda grass. The hyper grass just installed ahead of this season. It's like Bermuda rains, what we're experiencing. 1 to 3 inches already. We're expecting about 2 more inches. An official flash flood.
Good enough for that reason, as Mark Cuban would say, I'm out.
I mean, the 49ers, they're going to run the ball. Chicago's going to be a bad team. I don't know how secure either one of those quarterbacks are going to be holding the ball to hand off. Like, I mean, the players aren't even on the field yet, and it's like 11:20. Like, they're not on the field stretching, but they're probably doing all of that in the locker room. This is going to be an easy fade game for me.
Yep.
It could be 78 and sunny, and I'm taking Goff over Fields against that Niners defensive line with that Bears offensive line. I don't look with this question in particular. It's Goff just because that Bears offensive line against that 49ers defensive line. I feel bad for Fields.
Absolutely. Same here, man. Fields is going to have a tough year. We got Russell Kaiser saying half PPR if Ertz or Komet, or pick up Irv Smith from waivers. So I guess it's a half PPR who we playing, Ertz, Komet, or are we picking up Irv Smith from waivers? Alex, lead this one off for us, buddy.
Oh, man. Well, Ertz was hurt all week. Well, for the last couple weeks with that calf strain. He's apparently going to go today, but I don't trust that. And we just talked about the Chicago game, so I don't want to drop Cole Komet either. I mean, Irv Smith is right there for me, but I think Cole Komet has a pretty good year this year. I guess you roll with I would roll with Ertz here and keep Cole Komet on my bench and let Irv Smith stay on the waivers.
I like that.
I'm a huge Cole Komet guy. I think he'll see upwards of 90 to 95 targets this year. The problem is just this week. Like it's not a going forward thing with Komet. It's just a this week thing with the weather and whatnot. So I would go Ertz over Komet. If you're inclined to not start Ertz or Komet, check your waiver wire, Russells. See if Logan Thomas is out there, because he's been out there in a lot of leagues. And coming back off this injury, like Carson Wentz has a history of targeting his tight end. Like he's used his tight end a lot. I expect Logan Thomas to have a pretty good season. So that might be a pivot that you can go to today as well.
Excellent. That's a good call right there. And I agree 100%. I think Komet's worth a hold. And I'd play Ertz this week because I think I'd rather have Ertz down the stretch as well as opposed to Irv Smith, and you're probably going to lose him. Trans-Siberian checking in also. He says he loves seeing us again. Putin will soon be dragged from the Kremlin and hung in the Red Square. We hope so, man. That's full solidarity coming from the States, from us right there. We don't ever get political here, but that to me is worth it. Because I know that I hope to God most people here are like, yeah, let's get rid of this guy. We got Russell Kaiser checking back in, 10-team PPR. He's Jonathan Taylor owner, and he drafted Hines late, which is great. Is he worth keeping? He could bolster his wide receivers with Dotson, Burks, or Myers, which are all still available. So am I holding on to a handcuff for JT? And even not even a handcuff. To me, Nyheim Hines isn't even really a handcuff. To me, he's kind of a functional, somewhat kind of a flex star running back option in a lot of these in a lot of scenarios. So to me, I like Nyheim Hines over most of these receivers. Am I alone there? Is there anybody out there that you guys would rather have on your line that could be giving you? Because I feel like I could put him in a flex over any one of these guys, and I think I'd be happier with the end result.
I think I think season long you'll be happier with Treylon Burks than you will be with Naheem Hines.
And I was going to say the same thing about Dotson as the number 2 wide receiver there. And I know Burks is number 1, but it's number 2. Dotson's going to be on the field the whole time. So with those 2 wide receivers, you're going to have guys that are on the field constantly versus you never know when you're going to get enough points to actually start Hines.
Yep, I was going to say in a 10-team league, unless your starting roster is ginormous with like 5 flexes and 3 wide receivers, how often is Hines even going to make it onto your lineup? But having Jahan Dotson or Burks, I was going to say either one, sitting there waiting for them to blow up, I'd much rather have one of those guys.
I like it. I understand it. Like I said, I like Naeem Hines, and I think he's going to be quite involved in that offense. We got Mini Jordan 718. He says, choose a running back in a flex PPR: Breece Hall, Ramondre Stevenson, Darnell Mooney, DJ Chark, or Drake London. And Jason, we're going to go ahead and let you kick this one off, my man.
So I'm taking Drake London as my have to start here. I like Mooney a lot, but the weather we just talked about, I probably sit Mooney on this one. I'm out on Breece Hall against the Ravens, so it comes down to DJ Chark and Ramondre Stevenson, and I'm going to take the dart throw at Ramondre instead of Chark.
Well, you have to because he needs a running back.
He needs a running back, yeah.
So I think I agree with that 100%. I'm taking Ramondre, and I think I'm taking Drake London in this. Although I do have some high expectations for DJ Chark, I think Drake London's probably the better option. George, you got anything to add there?
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go Breece Hall here for the running back. And for the flex, I'm going to go Drake London. Like I said, I'm higher on London than probably most. I have him statted out as my rookie of the year at the end of the year. So give me the Breece Hall and give me Drake London. And let's be honest, you didn't draft Breece Hall to sit him over Ramondre Stevenson. I don't care what anybody says. You spent way too high draft capital for week 1 to be sitting Breece Hall for Ramondre Stevenson.
I like it. Looks like Alex also agrees with that statement.
Yep, that was exactly what I was thinking. If I'm trying to sit Breece Hall if I have a bet, but out of these options, Breece Hall is definitely my start here. It's Breece Hall and Drake London.
Excellent. And PD out there, he agrees with both of you guys too. So we'll let him split that tie that we created right there. Good job, PD. Way to break through for us there. That was him saying same league, different flex spot. We got JM saying he's got Godwin in the flex. Start him or one of these players. We playing Ayuk, Patterson, Carter, or Pierce today. Any of these guys over Godwin? I like Godwin, but on a pitch count, I'm never a big fan of anybody on a pitch count.
Yeah, I think this comes down to Cordero Patterson and Dameon Pierce, with the San Francisco game being a monsoon right now. And we answered this one before, and I said Cordero Patterson, so I'm going to stick with it.
Me too.
Yeah, I would go Dameon Pierce, but I'll be the odd man out here.
Yep, I'll actually go with Patterson to keep it civil, because the PD didn't actually answer this question before I could feel into him to split up the tie. What's up, Chris's videos? Good to see you too, man. Let's see. We got Y2J29. He says, morning, fellas. Full PPR flex. Says, start Dylan. I have Jones too. Dameon Pierce or Michael Thomas or Christian Kirk. Would you guys start Dylan in this situation? And we'll go ahead and let you lead this one off, Jason.
Man, I've been higher on Dylan than most people, and he has Jones. I'm going to go ahead and, because he has Jones, I'm going to say start Michael Thomas here over Christian Kirk and Dylan. I don't want 2 running backs on the same team, even 2 good running. Okay, you know what? I'm totally flipping. I'm taking Dylan because with Allen Lazard out, I think Aaron Jones is going to catch the ball and Dylan's going to be the goal line and running back. I'm going to go ahead and start both running backs. That's what I'm doing, because remembering that Allen Lazard's out, he's thrown to a couple of rookies. I'm all in on Dylan. Let's go.
I'll chime in on that one just because I feel the exact same way. So for me, I think that if I'm going to have a situation where I'm going to be playing 2 running backs, it's going to be exactly this one right here. It's kind of like Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman. There was a time where that was a nasty 1-2 punch. you could RB1 and 2 that and successfully pull down weeks. So I don't see why this has to be too far different because there's a lot of the same opportunity. Are you agreeing right there, Alex?
Yep. And I was gonna say, like, it more reminds me of like Mark Ingram and Kamara when they had that big season together. You know, it didn't matter. They were all in there all the time, scoring plenty of fantasy points. You know, both of them. So yeah, I'm with Dylan here.
Absolutely. George, what do you got to add there? Nothing?
No, I would go Michael Thomas, honestly.
Oh yeah, well that's why you suck, George.
Yeah. But I would go Michael Thomas here. I think
I like Michael Thomas in that situation too. I just have more faith than Dylan. Just the lack of opportunity for everybody else means that there's going to be opportunity for some. But so George is on with Michael Thomas, the odd man out. Oh, Shay tweeted that. That is a vicious shot right there. He says, drop Aaron Jones for Kyle Rudolph. Well, so apparently, I don't know if my daughter got a hold of my phone or what the hell happened. But somehow on my waivers this week, I dropped Aaron Jones to get Kyle Rudolph. When I had a spot open, maybe I even just misclicked and hit it with my thumb or something to that effect. But I promise you, I definitely would not do that. Although, like I said in my chat, the highest bid for him was 125 with 200 fab. And that's what won him. And I'm like, really, 125? I mean, if I see Aaron Jones out there, I think I'm blowing the whole 200 on a starting running back that comes down in the first, second round. So I was also a little disappointed in my teammates there, but I did end up getting him back, everything settled. But yeah, you definitely don't want to do that. Shay tweeted that.
Well, so let me ask you guys real quick, in a league like that where that's an obvious mistake, right? Do you guys have mercy on your team? Like, because
they did for me, luckily, yeah, they did in this instance. They did, yes.
Very obvious ones like that for sure.
I'm in leagues where there would be no mercy. Like you screwed up, it's gone. And I'm in leagues where everybody would just go like, give him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there was people that caught it before I even caught it. Somebody hit me up on Twitter last night and said, hey, did you notice you did this? I mean, there had already been a waiver run since this has happened and stuff like that. I'm like, well, hell no, I wouldn't do that. You know, like who in the hell would ever want to do that? So good thing I'm in a good league, man. It's a fun league. I'm excited. That's one of my more active leagues that I'm in. I really enjoy it. So it's funny to see him in there talking shit. It cracks me up. Let's see. We've got, JM says wings or pizza for game day food. And for me, I think I'm going to go ahead and start this one off because I feel like you guys do all this fasting. You guys have been losing all this weight. I feel like your perspective might be a little bit off right now. But for me, the answer is clearly C, both. What about you guys? Anybody got an argument for that?
No.
So mine's home and away. If I'm home, I'm having wings. If I'm at my parents' house, I'm eating pizza. Because I don't have a change of clothes when I get myself all screwed up.
No, why do you have a change of clothes at your parents' house, man?
You know, there's napkins. You don't have to just rub it all over yourself.
Dude, I'm a fat guy. If I'm watching TV if I'm watching TV with my plate, shit's hitting the shirt. That's just what happens. Like
that's why I wear tie-dye, because then you don't see the stains.
All the barbecue melts in.
Just because both my kids work for a pizza place, so I get pizza basically whenever I want. So I don't have to limit myself to just one day to have pizza. Like it's acceptable to have pizza on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Thursday, or really any other day that ends in Y. So for that and that reason alone, give me the wings.
I also want to throw out there that I love that George is on the phone because I feel like if any of us talk over him, it automatically mutes George.
Even when you're laughing at what you just said. We got Chris's video says start one in the flex. Hollywood Brown, Dallas Goedert, Tony Pollard, or Scary Terry, or Breece Hall. Wow, that's kind of a tough flex question. So since it looks tough, I'm gonna go ahead and start it with you, George. What do you think, buddy?
Give me Scary Terry McLaurin. Fire him up.
Fire him up. I like it. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, it's between McLaurin and Hollywood Brown for me, but I think I'm gonna take McLaurin here. That's really tough. That's a good problem to have.
That's somebody who's been listening to us for a while.
Darn right.
So I'm going to start Hollywood Brown just because I don't think there's any other options there. It is a really good week for McLaurin going up against the Jags, right? So that's a good week to start him, but I'm going to say Hollywood Brown against the Chiefs, where
And I'm
they're going to
go
be playing
ahead
from
and
behind.
finish off with Scary Terry myself. I think that's the best opportunity. I think Carson Wentz has no problem hitting an open receiver. I think he has zero issues getting him out there. And I don't think this is going to be any different. We got PD says Herbert or Hurts this week. And, man, that's a good problem to have. I'd say, can it be both? But for me, it's going to be Herbert every time it's up against these two guys. Anybody have anything? Anybody here would start Hurts? Is there anybody?
I would absolutely start Hurts over Herbert this week.
I'm there too. Just rushing upside against the Lions defense.
Yep.
And it's close enough for me, so I'll stick with these guys and say Hurts.
Wow. Okay, so I'm the odd man out. I did not see that one coming, but okay. So,
PD
Hurts for the. I can't sit Herbert. I drafted this guy as my one. But I guess if we're talking about a one quarterback league, it makes a little bit more sense.
Yes.
I mean, you drafted Hurts as a QB1 too, though. So
what he really needs to do is either wait later and draft your quarterback in a later round, or trade one of those quarterbacks, because you have two top 5 quarterbacks. Like, I know 3 of us said Hurts over Herbert, but like, let's be honest, like, you could start Herbert and nobody's going to argue that you made the wrong move, right? Like, it's just, you have 2 top 5 quarterbacks, trade one.
I just assumed, I don't know, maybe it was just me, that it was actually a dynasty roster, because that's very possible.
Yeah.
Very common. I've noticed there's a lot of Herbert and Hurts stacks out there in the dynasty world.
Because to draft both of those guys in a 1 QB redraft league, that's your first and second round pick. Or sorry, I'm thinking super flex. But they're so close. I don't know why you would take both of them.
Gotcha. So we got our man Joe. He says in a standard league with 1 flex, he says Stevenson, Pierce, Tony, or Pickens. I'm going to go ahead and lead this one off. I'm going to say, give me Tony. I want to see what he's got this year. Although it's pretty close between Pierce and Stevenson as well. But I'm going to see what I think. I've got a lot of confidence in Tony and a lot of faith that there's nobody else to really throw to in New York.
So in a standard league, it comes down to Pierce or Stevenson for me. And I've done this already where I've said Stevenson, so I can't go back on that. I'm going to say Stevenson.
And you guys know me, I'm riding the Dameon Pierce train here. Just a couple of quick updates. Some of these are minor, some of these are actually kind of newsworthy. We already discussed it, but Falcons wide receiver Drake London is active, as is Michael Thomas. Falcons rookie Tyler Algier is actually inactive today. Dearness Johnson is inactive, so that makes your Kareem Hunt, and that also makes your Nick Chubb even more juicy starts. And Marcus, the quarterback for the Ravens, is out today versus the Jets, along with J.K. Dobbins and Ronnie Staley. Just a bunch of names that are coming out right now.
Traquan Smith with the Saints. So if you were looking at, Olave, Traquan Smith not being on the field maybe helps a little bit.
Yeah. Officially, J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle, Denzel Mims. So Kittle is officially inactive, so get him out of your lineup. Even though you probably didn't want to start him this week anyway in that monsoon that is in Chicago.
And I'm going to get back to the question here real quick, and I'm going to agree with George and go Pierce, and we'll decide that one. I love Tony in a PPR. I don't know about standard as much. Yeah. If it was PPR, it'd be a whole lot closer. It'd be hard for me to pick between the two. But in a standard, I'm going Dameon Pierce.
I like it. We got our man Hayden Rittenhouse who says PPR. Get which one? Godwin, Kirk, or Deontay Hardy with return yards?
Kirk for me.
Kirk
as well. Boy, that's tough to say anybody over Godwin, but Godwin on a pitch count. You got to do what you got to do. Should he add Hurst, Damian Williams, or Tanyan and drop Algar or Gesicki? I think I would hold on to Algar and Gesicki. What do you guys think?
I'd hold on to Algier but Gesicki, I'd probably drop for Tunyon.
I think that's actually that thought crossed my head too. I feel like that's an okay move right there. I feel like give me the guy with a lot less competition out there.
So I'm higher on most on Hayden Hurst this year. In that sense, I think he's a real cheap part of that Cincinnati Bengals offense. So I would drop Gesicki for Hurst, but I'd probably be alone in this group doing that. I do like Tunyon as well because he'll catch a bunch of touchdowns. I just worry about his durability. So for me, it would be I'd drop Gesicki for Hurst.
George?
I'm not a big Gesicki fan, believe it or not. So I don't mind dropping him, but I would drop Algier before I would drop Gesicki, to be honest. And I would pick up. Well, I would drop Gesicki for Tunyon. I would do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that. I think holding on to Algier is probably the better bet, though, for sure. Hunter Penny is the RB2 in the PPR, Andrew Miller asks. That's actually a lot closer than I thought it'd be in my head right here. What about you, Alex? Why don't you lead this one off?
It's Penny for me, but I just think Penny has real high upside this week if he's going to be the only guy in the backfield. When he gets the opportunities, he makes the most of it. So it's Penny for me.
Jason, do you have anything else to add to that?
I would take Penny over Hunt.
Gotcha. George?
Penny. Give me the shiny Penny.
Yep, I like Penny too, even though I know Dearness Johnston is out today. I do like Hunt. I do like Chubb a lot just because that offense is going to be kind of confused without the quarterback they've been practicing with. We got Mini Jordan 718. He said, should I drop James Cook for any of these options? Kenyon Drake, Jalen Tolbert, Sky Moore, or Osborne? No, James Cook had a tough start, man, but you want to hold on. You know that the offense will be firing off soon. They're not really a good, reliable running back offense, but he's still better, and he's a still better option than any of the rest of these guys. Anybody disagree?
No, I'll give him a couple weeks to redeem himself and get back into that offense because there was lots of work for Zach Moss, and I think James Cook is better than Zach Moss. I think. So
I agree, and I feel like if there's anybody that will shift him out of there, it is Buffalo because they can't really. You don't really get a hang long. Your shelf life as a Buffalo running back is literally 5 snaps, and then they're on to the next, trying to get the guy with a hot hand started.
I will say though, we were talking during that game in our Twitter feed. What a frustrating backfield because Devin Singletary, the devil, looked really good when he was on the field. He was on the field early, putting up a ton of yards, and then all of a sudden Zach Moss came in and got a ton of work, and it was like, why would you go away from a guy that's working? So
they were winning.
Yeah, I guess, but it's not like they were blowing him out early. It was close, and Singletary looked very good. So if they ever decide to go with one guy over the other, even if they make a third down guy, which is Cook, man, I want some of Singletary. But the problem is, you saw Josh Allen run the ball in, which takes away from the running backs, and then they just split them up so much. It's hard to take any of those guys, right?
Yeah, I don't think Josh Allen is going to be running quite as much as he did on Thursday night because he was putting himself in some situations. I think they're going to be like, "Hey, bud, like let's just back it off just a little bit." We have other people.
He does it every year, though.
I was going to say, good luck containing Allen. Good luck.
Yeah, I just think that I think they should, really emphasize to him, high leverage situations, goal line, third and fourth downs, that kind of stuff. That's where you go out and make the play. But first down when we're up by 21 points, don't be going out there and taking shots.
Josh Allen's built like a tank. He's going to run the ball no matter what. Like it's like people saying Cam Newton should stop running the ball. He's not going to because he's bigger. He's not a small quarterback. He's built like a freaking tank. He can take that beating.
Yeah, but Josh Allen has a way better arm than Cam Newton and can sit back there and do all the things a pocket passer can do,
He really could open up an offense, man. I'm glad I saw that coming with that guy. I'm still hanging my hat on that call. We got our buddy Andrew Miller. He says he adds Amari Cooper in the flex in that question. Anybody going over Penny?
Nope.
No?
Penny.
Nope. Gotcha. So that's out. We got our man Robert Trauma says, "Welcome and bienvenue," and right back at you with the followed by a bonjour. I like it. I like it. He says he went 0 RB in a 12-team wide receiver, half PPR. Who you starting? Dylan, Pollard, Pierce, Hines, or Robinson?
Dylan.
If I need one, give me Dylan. If I need two, give me Pollard and Dylan.
I agree with that.
Me too.
I would take Dameon Pierce over Pollard, I think. But we don't need to, so it's Dylan.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. We got another one from PD, Hayden Hurst or Gerald Everett?
Gerald Everett. The Chargers targeted their tight end 20% of the time last year. Now, they weren't very good because their tight end was an older, washed-up Jared Cook. But Jared Everett right now is better than Jared Cook was last year. So give me that Jared Everett.
It wouldn't surprise me if Hurst outscores Everett this week, but all the game script and the fact that Parham's out and the actual matchup to me screams Gerald Everett over Hayden Hurst. So I'm going to go with that. But it wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, I think Hayden Hurst is going to be big this year. He's going to be the surprise tight end of the year. But I'll say Gerald Everett because of the matchup.
Hayden Hurst is big all the time.
Yeah. Yep. I like Hayden, but I'd take Everett as well.
Yeah, I'll take Everett too.
Excellent. We got Kevin K flexing a half PPR. Dylan, Penny, Stevenson, Edmonds, or Tony. We're getting Dylan and Penny in a lot of questions today. And I feel like for me, here we go again, Penny. I'm with Penny on this one. Anybody else?
I'm going to go Dylan. I have him up over Penny.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I would go. For me, it's Penny, but I don't hate Dylan, to be honest.
Yeah, they're pretty close for me, but I have Dylan just over him. I think he's got a lot of work this week, and I love Penny, but I think it's more EV positive on Dylan's side with the matchup and the lack of other options and everything else. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so I got outvoted on that one. I like it though. Good analysis there. He says, with the weather in Chicago, should he drop Komet for Njoku?
I'm not dropping Komet, but if there's somebody else on your roster, I might look for Njoku's a good option. I already mentioned earlier about Logan Thomas. I think he's a good option. But I'm not dropping Komet. Komet's still going to get you. I've got him statted out for about 95 targets this year. So.
Yeah, can you drop a wide receiver 5 or 4 or something and pick up a tight end replacement before dropping Cole Kmet? I mean, and if you don't want to do that, then I guess just roll with Cole Kmet and take the L in the tight end spot. I don't know.
And I don't really I don't mind a tight end in the sloppy game. They take the short route, they take the short passes. Sometimes that'll work out in your benefit too. So I'm really not too low on Cole Kmet today anyways at this time. So we'll see what happens there. We got our man DeHondro says Sutton, Terry, or Devonta Smith today. I'm a Broncos bias, so I'll go ahead and start off right away. We're going to say Sutton because I'm really excited to see what he can do with Russell Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah,
go ahead, Jason.
No, I was just going to agree. So I'm going with Mike on this one and saying Sutton.
Yep, I'm going to agree as well. And that's the first time I've seen someone from Twitch have a comment. Usually it's YouTube. That's neat. I like that.
Heck yeah. Yeah, thanks for watching us, by the way. Yeah, appreciate it on the different platforms and stuff like that.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button for us, please. We just hit 740 subscribers. We've been grinding all season long, and we're going to continue grinding all season long, trying to hit our goal of 1,000. So, if we're out here helping you out, just do us a favor in return. It costs you absolutely nothing. Just hit that little subscribe button.
We have come along.
Just forget about us after that. That's okay too.
But
you should probably return here to get amazing content week in, week out.
We've come a long way this offseason. I remember the goal of okay, we're gonna hit 5. We're gonna hit 500, and now we're up over 750. So,
and climbing every day more and more.
Yeah.
We got Andrew Miller. We got Lance Baker or Wentz in the Superflex spot with the weather situation. Jason, what do you think, man? We got weather. What are we doing?
I am going to channel my inner Jared, and I'm going to say Baker. Revenge game against the Browns. I think he wants to come out and, well, I mean, he actually came out and said he wants to kill him. So I'm going to take, I'm not a fan of Wentz, and then with that weather, I can't play Lance. So I'm going to say Baker.
Yeah, I'm going Baker as well. I'm watching another video of the players out on the field. The field is so bad. It is so freaking bad. Like they're running, and every time they step, you just see puddles of water splashing out from underneath their feet. Like, this is a game I would actually enjoy watching live because it's going to be one of those just run the ball. Like you tackle somebody and you slide 7 yards this way. Like it's just going to be one of those types of games. So I wouldn't mind watching this live, but I don't want to trust Lance in a rookie day, basically his NFL debut, because like I know he started 2 games last year, but I mean let's be honest, like this is like his debut where he's actually the guy. Give me Baker on a revenge game against the Panthers. Give me that. Give me all of that.
Yeah, Baker revenge game. I'm with you. Sign me up. I've got him actually. If you watched me at Dasher DFS last night, that was somebody who I was starting. I'm very excited to be stacking with Christian McCaffrey. Jason, do you have anybody else you'd rather put here? Or we started with you, huh?
I think I would still play Lance because it's going to be a lot of running. I think I'd play Lance, but
I do
I'm
that
really,
theory.
I'm really high on Lance, so.
Yeah, you've always been really high on Lance, so I hope it finally rewards you, man. But I think it's going to be Baker today. We got Oswaldo saying Inkine over Alec Pierce, man. Are you in a 32-team league? There, Oswaldo, like Inkin Hines or Alec Pierce. For me, it's Alec Pierce. I like the wide receiver too of the Colts. Jason, what do you or George? What do you think? Let's go with George this time. We'll start with you.
I can't even pronounce that first name, so I'm going Pierce. I can at least pronounce his name.
There you go, Alex. What do you think?
Alex Oswaldo has known to come from me. If I can't pronounce your name, I'm not starting you. You're just not.
You're out.
That's not his first name. It's
His last name.
It's Westbrook Akine.
It's NWI.
It doesn't matter.
It's Nick Westbrook Akine.
I can't.
I think I might actually start Westbrook Akine over Alec Pierce. He's a more established part of that offense. He's going to be the wide receiver 2, I think, until Treylon Burks comes along. And I think the Titans. I think I'd rather his floor than Alec Pierce, with a complete unknown.
Yeah, I think I'm taking NWI over Pierce as well. And that's, we talked about, so Mike saying the wide receiver 2 for the Colts, but Paris Campbell's the wide receiver 2 for the Colts. So it's the wide receiver 3 for the Colts. And I don't know if I'm getting that deep against the Texans. It's going to be a big JT game.
Fair enough. Well, so I'll split the difference because it was close, but because you got a good point there. I always forget about Paris Campbell over there because he's going to be hurt like 2 plays into it. But we'll go with Akine just to keep it whatever you guys keep saying, just to keep it going. Oh, we got Lazar and we got start Bucks or pick up Bengals or Titans in PPR.
I love the matchup this week. I love their matchup. I'm going to go Titans here. Like week 1 for the Titans, they get a banged up. No, that was the Cardinals. Who are they playing?
They're playing the Giants. I like the Titans here. Do you have to drop the Bucks to get the Titans? Because I don't know if I would do that. But
yeah, I think I'm happy playing the Bucks this week if I have to do that. If not, I actually don't mind the Bengals this week either, playing up against Mitch Trubisky as quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super high on the Bucks defense in general, but I think this week's okay. You got Dak playing against, or Dak with a ton of his weapons missing. But if I have to drop the Bucks, I don't do it. But then I would personally play the Titans if I could drop some scrub that's never going to start for you instead.
Absolutely. We got Russell Kaiser saying half point PPR, Ayuk or Edmonds for the flex today. I think we're all probably going to say Edmonds with the weather, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Edmonds with the weather. It looks like that thing's going to be pretty rough. And we've even got Rich saying he would do that too. Loud noises. Just so you know, Robert, I love Lamp. I'm just throwing that out there, man. We got Jerry Backshy says Matt Ryan or Jared Goff is his quarterback too in a Superflex league.
It's Jared Goff for me. I think that comes down to, like Jason's been saying, it's going to be a big JT game because they're going to get up early and ride it out. And I like I said, I'm intrigued about the Lions Eagles game. I think it might be, pretty fantasy friendly. So I'm going to go with Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is actually behind one of the best offensive lines in the entire NFL. That is a top 3 offensive line. He's got weapons galore around him. Like, they've done a lot to add to that team. They added DJ Chark. They drafted Jameson Williams. I get he's on the PUP list right now, so it doesn't help you this week. But he's got TJ Hawkinson back, DeAndre Swift, the Sun God himself. Give me Jared Goff. That team is going to surprise a lot of people this year. They're going to be competitive. I want Jared Goff over Matt Ryan.
That's weird. It feels like we're still talking about fantasy from a few years ago. Jason, do you got anything to add to that?
No, I completely. I'm trying to find some more inactives, but no, I completely agree. It was going to be Goff over Matt Ryan for me.
Gotcha. Robert Trauma did add that Damian Harris was an option right there, and that's Bobby Pigskins. So welcome back, Bobby Pigskins. It's good to hear from you as well, man. I know I definitely missed you from the last year's Blitz for sure. I'm not too sure exactly what question he was adding that to, just because we were probably talking about it a while ago. The zero RB. So who did we start? We started Dylan. A couple of us started Pollard. So would you add adding Damian Harris into that? Would we still go over either of those? No.
Dylan over Damian.
Still for us. Yeah. With Michael Thomas active, this is Justin Stevens, so let's make sure it's not a league you're playing him in before you answer properly. Michael Thomas at Atlanta or Devontae Smith at Detroit. And I'll go ahead and lead this one off. I feel like if Michael Thomas is out on the field, I'm throwing Michael Thomas into my lineup. If it was A.J. Brown, I'd maybe get a little bit more considerate about it. But for me, it's Michael Thomas. What do you think, Alex? You agree?
Yep, Michael Thomas. I like Devonta Smith. I think the Eagles' offense is going to be pretty good this year. So, but I really like Michael Thomas this year. If he's back to his mostly normal form, I think he's going to smash.
Excellent, George. What do you think?
I think I'm watching squeegees on the field in Chicago right now, getting the water off the field.
That's awesome. What they need to do is get a lot of thirsty people and maybe send some of that to California somehow. Jason, what do you got to add to that? What's that, buddy?
It's Michael Thomas.
Thomas?
Yeah, give me Michael Thomas.
I agree. Absolutely.
Excellent. That's all of those. We got Hunter Cooper in PPR. Jason, what do you think? Hunt or Cooper?
Hunt. I am very out on Cooper until Watson comes back.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. And I'm very in on Hunt until he comes back as well. What do you say, Alex? Any argument there?
It's pretty close for me because, Hunt's the RB2. I know there'd be enough work for a decent floor, and he does get some of the red zone opportunities. But Cooper's the only wide receiver. I know it's Jacoby Brissett throwing him the ball, but he's still a quarterback, and he's still going to throw the ball to his wide receivers. I think, oh man, it is tough. But I think I'd go with Hunt for the floor. If you're looking for some upside, maybe Cooper, because he might, end up with a touchdown. So might Hunt though. So yeah, no, I'll go Hunt. I'm talking myself into him.
Huh? Jason?
Oh no, I said Hunt.
You already said Hunt.
Yeah, it's Hunt, and another reason why it's Hunt is I'm not overly concerned about Jacoby Brissett. I think he'll, like Alex said, he'll target the best wide receiver on his team enough. But the problem is he's going to be going up against J.C. Horn, who is back from last year. And last year, like J.C. Horn literally was shutting people down. Like that is a hell of a cornerback. He's going to shadow Amari Cooper. I think I heard that J.C. Horn in the games he played last year, he didn't give up any more than like 47 yards the entire season on cornerbacks he covered. Like they didn't get more than 47 yards on him. So for that reason, I'm going to sit Cooper for Hunt.
Good. I like it. We got our man Justin checking in saying, good morning, gentlemen. After he asks us a question, of course, then he says, oh, hi, by the way. We got Chris's video saying, Marquise Brown, Breece Hall, Scary Terry, Dallas Goddard, or Tony Pollard in his flex. Full PPR. George, kick this one off for us.
So normally I say you didn't draft Breece Hall to sit him because you had to spend like a 4th or 5th round to get him. But because you have Terry McLaurin as an option, I'm going to go with Terry McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin for George. Jason, what do you say?
I've got to be consistent across all these questions, and I've had Marquise Brown over Scary Terry and Breece Hall before, so it's Marquise Brown for me with nobody else to throw to in Arizona.
Got it. What do you think, Alex?
So disrespected right now. Or not AJ Brown, AJ Green.
It's Terry McLaurin for me. I feel like we answered this one before, but yeah, like I said, if I can sit Breece Hall for one of these very good options, I'm going to. And I'm to stick with the consistency, like Jason said, I've been going McLaurin over Hall or over Brown. So
same here. Yep, Scary Terry for me as well. I heard knocking. I hope that you didn't actually have that guy knocking on your door or anything like that after we said it. We got drop Rodgers for Njoku or let it ride with Komet. Lamar is his current starter, 10 team.
like Aaron Rodgers?
Like Aaron Rodgers is the only Rodgers I can think of off the top of my head. Chester Rodgers. I dropped Chester Rodgers into 10 team.
or Amari Rodgers. No, I'd probably roll with Komet and just, grit your teeth.
Yeah, because you're gonna see that guy get swept up real quick, and that's how you know you made a mistake right there. Trade Rodgers would be another option right here. Maybe get Rodgers, add something in your lineup, go a little 2-for-1 action to open it up for Njoku for you, and maybe improve like a wide receiver or a running back position. Or maybe even the tight end position itself, you could even maybe possibly improve on with the right trade partner. But move pretty quick because it's we're running out of time here as far as we got about another hour that we can drop trades and things like that in there. So definitely get out there. That's what I would do possibly. If I have Lamar, I think I'm going to try to trade Rodgers for something back with a little bit more value. Let's go with this one. Oh, Oswaldo says it's a 14-team league. Well, at least that kind of makes sense. But my God, man, you're asking us questions. Those are like week 18 questions whenever all the starters are sitting on the bench. We got Joe Clark saying Renfro or Waddle at the wide receiver too. Oh, my goodness sakes. I love a little Waddle this week, especially if he's going to be healthy out there. What do you think there, Alex? Waddle or Renfro?
It's going to be Waddle for me.
Waddle?
I think he's got the higher upside than Renfro. Well, yeah, even with the matchup, I'm going to stick with Waddle.
Waddle for you. What about you, Jason?
Waddle for me.
Waddle.
Like them both, but there's a reason why Waddle was going so high. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver this season, so Waddle for me.
Got to start week 1 to be a top 10. And then we got George waddling when we ask him. And so we know the answer there for him because he gets so excited to talk about Hunter Renfro. He actually waddles in his seat. So for him, it's Hunter Renfro. No, we got Waddle all the way across the board for us. Chris's videos asked Denver or Packers defense this week. And I'm going to start this off with give me that Denver D, because they're going to be actually not on the field every 7 seconds, hopefully, with Russell Wilson as a quarterback. George, what do you think?
Denver all the way.
I love hearing people say that. Jason, what about you?
Denver for me. I think Minnesota is going to try and put it on the Packers, so Denver for me.
And I think you guys might be saying that because I will mute you and remove you from the program if you say otherwise.
But you know what? You know what's funny about that, Mike? I got that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
He says two can play at this game. Alex, the resident Packers defense, how lucky are you feeling to answer this question incorrectly?
No, Denver for me.
I love it. Yep. No,
I actually I drafted the Packers in a league and then dropped them for Denver just because of week one, the week one matchup. So.
That's how you handle your defenses in these leagues. You want to be streaming these defenses. You don't want them clogging up a lot of spots, at least at the beginning of the season. Towards the end of the season, we'll talk again later, though. We got Bateman or Thielen at the wide receiver, too. We got Joe Clark checking in again.
For me,
Jason.
Bateman for me.
Bateman, Alex.
Thielen.
George, break that tie.
I'm feeling Thielen.
Thielen, and I'm also feeling Thielen. Let's get some of that Thielen action going. Joe Clark also asks Etienne or Penny at the flex.
Etienne for me.
I need to know if this is a PPR league because that's going to make it. So if it's PPR, Etienne. If it's standard, give me Penny. And if it's
PPR.
If it's half point, give me Penny.
If it's either, give me Etienne.
Yeah, half or full, it's Etienne.
So you guys
I'm
are buying
actually going Etienne here too.
It circles back. You guys are buying into the shower hype between Etienne and Trevor Lawrence because you know they were college teammates. Like the shower hype is a thing.
If I'm getting in any kind of hype, it's going to be shower hype, so I'm okay with that. We got Hooper, Irv Smith, or Tanyan are the other options for our man. So he's got Njoku. I'm sticking with Komet over all these guys. How about you guys? Komet still?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're still on Komet. You haven't sold us yet there, Robert. We're still on that Komet train. He says Cooper or Hunt. We all said Hunt in the flex spot there, Andrew, just to catch you up, buddy. Petey says with the weather situation, would you start Claypool over Ayuk in a 3-flex league or just fly with Ayuk? I think I'm running Claypool. What about you guys?
I'm going Claypool. He's the biggest slot wide receiver in the NFL. He's going to be a problem.
Yep.
And Mitchell Trubisky can find you if you're tall, and that's 2 more nods. Jason, you don't have an argument there?
I really don't like Claypool. I think Ayuk's the weather's just so bad. I really like Ayuk, but the weather's so bad that George talked me out of playing Ayuk this week.
Yep, same here. That's a heavy fade. I would love to play Ayuk this week, though. Like, I like his situation a whole awful lot, but not in the slot fields. Brandon Williams says flex wide receiver, Scary Terry versus Jax, Renfro versus Chargers, or Dillon at Minnesota, or Etienne at Washington. So we got a flex and a wide receiver too, PPR. Let's go with our wide receiver too. Who we grabbing here? Are we going with Terry or Renfro?
Terry.
I'm saying Renfro.
I'm saying Terry.
I'm going to say Terry.
That's 3-1 Terry for the flex. We got Dillon, Etienne, or Renfro.
Etienne for me.
Etienne.
Oh, I don't know. That's a lot closer for me, but I think I'm going Etienne.
I think I'm going Etienne too. And if you were on the fence about Dillon, that's the guy who I was leaning towards as well. But just a little bit more to Etienne just because he's not the number 2. He's actually the one from last year. It's Young Will's running from back. Good to see you back last year, buddy. Good to see you back. Juju or Waddle half PPR? It's not even close for me on this one. It's Juju. Or I'm sorry, Waddle.
Jason, remove Mike from the
It's Waddle for sure.
It's Waddle.
Waddle on all of those. Mooney or St. Brown, the sun god? Unless we're talking about Equanimous, then it's easier. But it's St. Brown for me.
St. Brown.
St. Brown.
Yeah, sun god.
And he says, Godspeed, homies. Time to tinker. That's what I'm talking about. We're coming up on the clock, boys. We got Chris Lazarin saying thanks. He's excited. Good luck, everybody. Yes, Chris, we love it. We love having that. Rich says even he's taking Waddle in that one, which is funny because he's always got that. Justin, I agree. I agree, man, especially when I got kicked off my own damn show. I tell you what. Next up says PPR, Amari Cooper, Julio, or MBS today. Jason, since you kicked me off like a butthole, I'm going to go ahead and not start off with you, and I'm going to start off with Alex.
I'm I'm gonna go with Amari Cooper here. I don't know what Julio or MVS are gonna give me, so Cooper at least, he's the wide receiver one out there. So
Gotcha. Okay, now Jason, since I loved and missed you so much, what do you think right here?
I am so far off Amari Cooper that I'm actually starting MVS this week. I don't know what I'm getting with MVS other than the fact that I think he's in a better situation than he was with Aaron Rodgers.
Just more confidence in your feelers than what Amari Cooper gives you. That's
absolutely.
George, what do you think here?
Well, so I got a question. First off, Mike, how many times did you get kicked off your own stream last year?
Oh, so many. It happens often.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure. Like, I wasn't sure if it was just Jason and I bringing chaos to the stream, or if we're just trying to keep it consistent from last year. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, I get kicked off of everything, man. It happens. Out of places, off of things. It's kind of common.
I'm going with Amari Cooper here. I like Julio. I think he's got a great opportunity. I'm not starting MVS over either one of them. I get it's Jacoby Brissett. I completely understand that, but given these other two options, I'm going to Amari Cooper.
And I like Julio Jones today. I think with a lame Godwin, this might be about the only time we're going to see a good, solid Julio for the first week. So, but I agree. I mean, that's 2 for Cooper. I like the Cooper call right there. MVS has still got me a little bit nervous. So, but I do like the Julio call. Robert did say he lied. He's already back. That wasn't much tinkering right there. That Lamar Rodgers team is weaker at RB. Is Jay Jacobs not enough for Rodgers? I feel like Jay Jacobs would be enough for Rodgers. Like, to me, I feel like I'd make that trade in a single quarterback league. I'd want the Josh Jacobs side of that thing. But I think I'd be pretty happy that I was getting Aaron Rodgers. As long as they're weak at their quarterback position. If you're throwing it into like Josh Allen and Josh Jacobs or something like that, that's not going to work out. But so it's a little bit dependent on the other kind of situations there. But what do you guys think? Josh Jacobs for Aaron Rodgers? Would you make that trade, George?
In a single quarterback league, if I've got Lamar as my other quarterback, yeah, I'm taking that trade.
Yeah, I like it. What about you, Jason?
100% agree. I'd take it if I'm getting Jacobs. I'm not 100% certain I would take it if I'm getting Rodgers.
No, I think he's trying to get Jacobs because he has Lamar and Rodgers. So if you can move Rodgers for a starting running back like that with Lamar as my QB1, absolutely.
And if you can, hopefully you got somebody else. Oh, he says Edmonds, Dillon are his starters with Ramondre and J-Rob on the bench. Yeah, definitely need to get a little bit more running back help on that team. Josh Jacobs would be a great addition to that for sure. And Stafford is their quarterback, so they might be actually a little bit worried about the situation right now. Now's the time to pounce on that person. This is the perfect time to start trying to get this deal done. Even though it won't help you out this week, it'll help you out in the point forward. Mike D, what's up, man? I'm Mike D as well. We give that respect. We got half PPR. We got Ertzer and Joku. Jason, since we made fun of you, I guess, on the last one, let's go ahead and start off with you this time, man, because I love you, and I like I said, I feel bad. I never want to lose you again, Jason.
No, it's Ertz for me. I like Njoku this week. I think Njoku's going to be the number 1 target this week over Cooper, and that's just the way Brissett plays with tight ends. So that's one of the reasons why I'm down on Cooper. But with limited options in Arizona and that team probably playing from behind, I'm going to take Ertz here.
Ertz, George.
Give me Ertz here.
Ertz as well. Alex, what do you think?
I'm going to go Njoku. That calf strain really scares me. And if I have anything of a something to replace him with, I'm going to replace him. So I'm totally fine with rolling out Njoku here.
I like it. I like Njoku as well, but I feel like I'm also leaning Ertz. So we're going to go to the other side of the question there. He needs to pick one wide receiver and one flex between Elijah Moore, Renfro, Chase Edmonds, and A.J. Dillon. I think I'm starting Elijah Moore, and I think I'm going with A.J. Dillon as my flex. Alex, what do you think?
Yep.
Double that. Jason?
3 last time. Last time Elijah Moore played with Joe Flacco as his quarterback, he went off. So
I like it. I like it. George, do you have anything to add?
No, I agree with the panel here.
I love it. I love it. I love it. He says go hard for Jackson for Javonte and just have Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback. What would you guys do there? I think I'm okay with that move. If I can get it to happen, I'm okay with that. But I would prefer to have Lamar over Rodgers too.
I would be trading Rodgers. I would keep Lamar Jackson. I think. Listen, I said it during the offseason. I think Aaron Rodgers is not going to finish the season as a top 12 quarterback. I think Kirk Cousins is going to be outscoring him, and they're going to actually win that division. Sorry, Alex. I know that's just not something you want to hear because that's your team, but I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers this year.
I have him winning the division too. So
I would much rather have Jackson and Jacobs than Javonte and Rodgers. Yep.
Oh, it's close for me. That's where I kind of get split. I'm like, man, I think I'd rather have Rodgers and Javonte, but I understand you guys' point.
I love Javonte, but when that coach comes out and says he's riding the hot hand again between Gordon and Javonte, it's going to be more closer to a 50-50 split like it was last year than we all wanted or we all thought maybe going into this offseason. So that's what worries me about Javonte over anything else. I don't think Gordon has fallen off a cliff, so he may be a hot hand.
Blasphemer, he says. I love it. Oh, whoops, that's the wrong one. We got our man Andrew Miller, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up, guys. We're almost coming up on 2 hours here. He says, Juju, Sammy Watkins, or Devontae Parker, half PPR. Thanks, guys. And for me, goodness sakes, man, these guys are just hitting us. Like I said, man, is this week 17 or is this week 1, man? Like, what did you guys draft out there? What the hell are you doing to us?
I didn't know we were in the middle of bye weeks already.
Right, exactly. Alex, we're going to go ahead and let you close this one off for us.
I love Sammy Watkins because it's week 1, but I think I'm starting Juju over Sammy Watkins and Devontae Parker here.
I like it. What do you say, Jason? Agreeing? George, how about you?
Juju.
Oh, George's internet finally ate him. It took him a whole show to find him, but then it finally found him and ate him. There he is.
It's Juju.
Juju for you too. And it's also Juju for me. And with that, guys, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure as well. And even though we've got the Blasphemers on the show today, we'll definitely be here next week and ready to do this again, guys. It was fun. It was interactive. It was a whole lot busier than I think any one of us expected it to be. So that's awesome. If I didn't get any of your Twitter questions, I apologize. Hopefully you got them in here in the live thread. That's the easiest way to get on there. The best way to follow us is just to go to toiletsandtitles.com. It's got the schedule. It's got a lot of great articles. It's got basically everything you need, T2T oriented. It'll let you be able to follow a lot of the hosts here as well, because we're always on Twitter. We're always doing stuff on there. And if you join our Patreon at patreon.com/toiletsandtitles, you'll be able to get in on our Discord chat where we're even more available. You can get us about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We got guys in Australia just to wake up just in case we had something else go on there. And so, or in case you catch us like 2 o'clock in the morning, let's say you just wake up, have to go take a bathroom break or something like that, want some fantasy advice, boom, you got 3 guys just sitting there waiting in Australia, bored because they live in Australia, ready to answer those questions. But guys, do you have anything to add before we close out this week 1? No. Well, thank you once again for joining me. It was great to be back to full strength. Even though we lost Joe a quarter of the way through, I think we can forgive him for circumstances such as that. But everybody, make sure you tune in next week, 10:30, same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be ready to answer your questions again. And until then, good luck. Let's win some fucking fantasy football, guys. Oh, Alex, I thought you had something there to add, but nope. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much. And again, we will see you next week. And thank you so much.